All right. What's your perspective on Tulsi Gabbard not aligning with the Democratic Party anymore? Because she was. I thought that when, let's see, who was it? Well, it was Biden and Kamala running against Trump and Pence, and I was thinking that I'm sorry, I screwed that up because this is not what I was thinking at that time. But it seemed like Tulsi had some real potential. Like, she's a woman, she's a minority, she's very smart, she's politically experienced a little bit, and she's with the Democrat Party. Like, it seemed like she had a real future, but it also seemed like she was not fitting in there. They weren't like pushing her along towards the end there, and then she decided to leave because of those reasons. What's your perspective on that?
Yeah, I've always gotten a bit of a weird vibe from Tulsi, if I'm honest. Even back when she was more explicitly kind of Democrat progressive, I know she's kind of in this middle zone now.
You're not just saying that because she left the Democratic Party?
No, I'm not.
Really?
No.
You always had a weird vibe from her.
She always seemed like someone who, back to our conversation from a few minutes ago, was more in it for the power and the notoriety than the actual helping of people. So back in when she was running for president. So this would have been back in 2019, maybe. We were hosting one of the Arena Academy events that I was talking about earlier, and she just showed up out of the blue, unexpected. We weren't expecting her, and so you got to imagine we're in this. I think this was in. I want to say we were in Arizona, so we were in Phoenix. Maybe it was Arizona or Iowa. I can't remember, but in any event, we were hosting this event. We're in like some hotel downtown in the middle of the city. We've got 200 or 300 people there. We're doing a bunch of training sessions on like how to be a campaign manager, how to be a finance director, how to be an organizing director. Tulsi showed up, and we were like in the middle of sessions, and we weren't expecting her. And she kind of insisted that we stop everything that we were doing for the few hundred people that were at this event and move them on, bring them all back together so that she could address the group.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like spontaneously, spur of the moment, sort of interrupting our whole like flow and plan for what we were doing. So we politely declined her request. I think she left a little bit disappointed and a little bit unhappy with us, but that's kind of my like one experience with Tulsi.
Yeah.
I don't know. She always just struck me as somebody who was looking for a path to achieve kind of like fame and notoriety. And actually, I think her recent actions sort of prove that out a little bit, you know? Like she has sort of carved out this niche for her where that is becoming kind of true, you know? Like I don't think she's not actually helping constituents or helping people, but she is developing like a name for herself.
Sure.
You know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would have to imagine that she has become quite a lot more popular.
Yeah.
I mean, she certainly would become more popular from the right, correct? Even if she doesn't go Republican.
Right.
You know, the fact that she left the Democratic Party and all of that. But that is interesting to hear that experience. It's stuff like that I don't ever get to experience with any of them. You know what I mean? Like
and look, like if she had contacted us a few days before and said, "Hey, I'm going to be in town. Can I stop by for 15 minutes and say hi to all these like young people who are trying to work on campaigns?" Like we would have figured it out. We would have made it work, but it was sort of the sort of like air of superiority that she kind of showed up with. That just kind of rubbed us the wrong way.
So, all right. So you have not necessarily been a fan of her all along. So when she kind of like ups and
it didn't even come as that much of a surprise. It didn't even come as a surprise to me when all that happened. When that happened.
Yeah. Interesting. Who are you? Who do you see has a lot of potential on the left? Who do you like?
Yeah, I will show my cards and admit my bias here. I'm a big fan of Pete Buttigieg.
Okay.
I just think he to my point earlier where we look for the values. He's somebody who's driven by his values and who it seems like a real and authentic person. And I think in whatever position that he's in is driven by the right reasons, right? Like he wants to help people. He wants to pass policies that will like actually improve people's lives. I've always thought he's a very effective communicator. If you watch him on TV, he will take like tax policy or other really like tedious things and explain them in like easy to understand
That's
and
gotta be
follow
hard.
ways. Yes, it is.
That's got to be hard.
Well, he's the
That's
transportation.
gotta be like an art.
Yeah, he's the transportation secretary now, and over the last couple of weeks, there's been between the Southwest thing and then the FAA shutdown. He's been on the news a bunch trying to, talk through some of that. But he can take like tedious, complicated things and explain them in like an easy to understand way. Mm-hmm. He's a really effective communicator. He's not afraid to like go on Fox News or go on other outlets that are typically associated with like the right. So he'll talk to all the, he'll go everywhere. When his presidential campaign, one of the strategy that they implemented was do all the press. So they would talk to anybody, left, right, center. They were saying yes to pretty much every media and press opportunity that they could. And that was how he got some of that initial traction and really made a name for himself early. I don't know. I just think Pete has a sort of bright career ahead of him.
So did he run? Did he run in 2020?
He did.
Okay.
Yep.
And what do you know what his plans are in the future?
I don't.
Publicly anyway?
I'm not sure. I mean, he's the transportation secretary at the moment. I don't know what his future plans are.
Okay. What do you think about what do you think is most likely going to happen between DeSantis and Trump going into 2040, you think?
If I knew the answer to that,
You make some money.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah.
Something. Man, I don't know. I hope Trump doesn't run because I'm ready to just like turn the chapter and turn the page. But
But he said he's going to.
He is.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I wish he wasn't.
Yeah. Well, if he didn't, DeSantis would be the clear front runner.
I think so.
Is that correct?
It seems that way.
Yeah.
And it seems like he might be running anyway, despite the Trump, and there might be a sort of standoff between the two of them, which could be interesting to see what happens there. But
yes.
I think if we think back to 2016, Trump ran as the outsider, as the sort of anti-establishment candidate. I think there's a chance he might try and do that again. Even as the person who was just the Republican president, he might now start saying, like, DeSantis is the establishment.
I could see that.
And I'm the
Absolutely.
outsider trying to break back in. He might take this outsider
Absolutely.
path again.